I liked the background that both of you brought to it, and that a lot of what you were teaching was research based, and that it was aimed at over 40s, because there are so many programs out there that are just not specified to any particular thing. And it, it was sort of more of a holistic approach, as opposed to take this pill, drink this shake, buy our equipment. There wasn't any of that sort of attached to it. And, when I listened to the advice that you were given, if I then went and sort of tried to do my own research on that, what I was finding was aligning to it. So
Mm.
that really built trust in what you guys were practicing and preaching yourselves. So yeah.
Thank you for saying that. And
It was actually through a mutual friend, that I'd found out about you. But I think I'd started following you. Gosh, I don't know how long ago it was. Probably
a
about a
few years,
year and a half ago,
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. And at first, it was just listening to the odd podcast or just taking the odd little hint and tip here and there. Because that was sort of at a point with, in terms of my age, I'm 45 now. And I think it was probably around the time that I turned 40 that I started to notice differences in my body. And some of them were just like little small things. Like all of a sudden, I kind of noticed, oh, my regular, like, moisturizer was all of a sudden irritating my skin, and my skin was going
Yeah.
really, really red. And I was like, oh, I guess my skin just doesn't want to use that anymore. And little things like that. I found, like, I was more sensitive to coffee. It was making me more jittery. And it just little, like, weird, niggly little things where you kind of just sort of go, oh, I don't know what's going on with that. Don't know what's going on with that. And
Yeah.
then my weight that, was quite, I've always been a fairly active person. I like to do bike riding and things like that. But my weight was even starting to creep up. So, you said in so many of your podcasts, you just kind of do more of what you're used to. And I was like, right, okay, I'll do an extra bike ride. I'll go and do more steps on my pedometer. I even tried to get into running, which I've never really been a huge fan of, but it's one of those things that you can easily do if you've just got a pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
Um, and the weight wasn't coming off. And I even got a scale, the ones with like you get the body fat
Yeah.
percentage and stuff
Yeah.
like that in the muscle. And whenever I was losing weight, I was noticing the muscle was going down and the fat was going up. So it sort of felt like, well, this doesn't feel like good weight to lose.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, you know that last year I had COVID. Um, and in the spring, and that was kind of, I think, the final straw was, the heart palpitations I got as a result of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So I had to kind of wear the heart monitor to make sure there was nothing too serious going on. And they basically just said, yeah, essentially COVID just really knocked your heart. They did put me on beta blockers to try and manage it. I felt increasing anxiety from that. Not to mention, of course, I'd had a lot of life changes in the previous year, deciding to end a marriage, changing jobs.
Yeah.
So a lot of change all at once. And initially, I sort of had just chalked up anxiety to going, well, I've gone through some big life changes. But then when the COVID hit on top of that and the heart thing came in, I think that was sort of a bit of a scary wake up call for me,
Yeah.
to go, right, okay, I need to, instead of just, like, I need to figure out something that's going to work. It's so hard, isn't it? Because there's so many people out there that are peddling something that promises the same thing. So
Yeah.
it was such a relief to finally find you guys and find something that worked and felt healthy, and seeing on the scale that my muscle is going up, my fat is going down, and everything is going in the right direction. So I know, not just based on how I feel, but even actually, like, the statistical numbers that I'm seeing on the scale are saying I'm losing healthy weight. So yeah, if there's anything I can do to sort of say that, hey, this actually worked for me, and encourage somebody else to try it for them, I'd be happy.
Thank you.
But kind of getting in terms of where I am now versus where I am, I think one of the things I've really liked is, I enjoy food more.
Mm, I love that.
You
Um,
enjoy food more.
yeah, because before it was sort of like peanut butter. Is this healthy? Is it not? Banana, is that healthy or is it not? Bread, should I be eating that or shouldn't I? Because it's just, there's so many things out there that sort of say, this is bad for you, that's good
Yeah.
for you, that's
Yeah.
bad for you, this is good for you.
Yeah.
And it sort of, there was always some kind of logic to, why it may or may not be, but it just sort of made me, I think, a little bit wary of everything I was eating. And you kind of get that sense of
Totally.
good, bad.
Totally.
And it just, yeah, it sort of felt like it was really limiting what I could eat and how much I was actually enjoying it. Because you sort of think, well, is this actually doing my body any good eating this, or is it not? Whereas with going through the nutrition guide with the 21 days, I mean, you saw my geeky recipe book that I put together, but essentially I thought, if I'm going to do this, I don't want this to be a 21-day thing. I want this to be a full-on life change. So I went through your recipes that you provided, looked for ones I liked. I went through my own recipe books and sort of went through ones that I thought, well, this fits the nutrition guide, that fits the nutrition guide, and these are ones I think my family would like. And I literally just created a brand new recipe book from scratch.
You do know that you're going to at some point probably be able to make that into a book or something. I love that you've done that, because so many people in the group are like, oh, can I have a look at that? Can I have a look at that? And the beautiful thing is you're part of a community. So part of the 21-day program is you get put in a community and everyone's sharing their highs and lows, their wins.
Oh, I was firing recipes off the other day to a few people and things like that. So, but it's, I think it's still something because you need to kind of look through the recipes and go, well, which ones fit the program and which ones am I actually going to enjoy and my family will enjoy. So there's a couple that I've been able to do, like your chili recipe. And I made that for my son and my partner and his son had actually never liked chili before ever. And I took this recipe with me to France on holiday, and because like I had a couple recipes I brought with me to sort of, because we were in like an Airbnb gîte, so we were able to cook, and I made this one day and he immediately was like, Dad, can you get this recipe from Lynn? It's just, then when you're eating something that you're enjoying and everybody else around you is enjoying, and you're not having to eat something different to everybody else,
exactly,
then it just makes eating more enjoyable. What
were the main goals? If you were to summarize when you said, yeah, Claire, we're going to do this, what was the main thing you wanted to get out of it?
I mean, I think if I could summarize it up, just to feel healthier again, genuinely healthier, not sort of like, okay, well, the number on the scale is lower, but I feel awful. But just feel healthier. And I was almost to the point where I was like, look, even if I could just make my body feel better, but not necessarily drop weight, I was okay with that. It was just wanting to feel better. Yeah, obviously have the palpitations under control if possible, but just sort of feel kind of like my body was my own again. I was actually, before the 21 days, I was actually doing more exercise than I did on the 21 days. Because
I got better results.
And I got better results. And it was just amazing. Like it took me all of like 6 months to drop the first, 5 or 6 pounds. And then, the next 5 or 6 pounds came off in 3 weeks. Just crazy. Just things like my skin is feeling better. The palpitations have gone. I've okayed it with my doctor. I'm off the beta blockers now. I don't take them anymore. It's like I essentially had ruled out being able to drink coffee at all, because as soon as I had one, my heart would just go. Through there.
That's all right. No, don't worry. That's all right. Yeah. So
so it's kind of given me my old body back that I had, from my 30s, because
I remember you saying that.
all of these little quirky things are sort of melting away and they're not really there anymore. So, you know, I can put moisturizer on my face without my face going bright red. And all sorts of things like that. I'm sleeping, yeah, I'm sleeping. I haven't even mentioned sleep, but yeah, I'm sleeping way better. Sleep used to be such a hard thing. I'd either have trouble dropping off or I'd wake up in the middle of the night regularly. And if I woke up, I would kind of think, oh, that's it, I'm awake for the rest of the night now. So I'd be dragging myself into work, or my son would kind of come in the morning and he'd be like, how'd you sleep? And I'd be like, I've been up since 2. But yeah, with doing this, and same thing, you know, you sort of think that doing more exercise would make you tired and make you sleep better. Because I was doing